Have you ever stood at the edge of a dream, so close that you could feel it breathing, yet so far that you wondered if it even belonged to you? Life is a journey filled with moments where we feel lost, unsure, or overwhelmed. We see possibilities shining in the distance, but our feet feel heavy and our path feels blurred. Setting goals isn't just about writing words on paper. It's about giving direction to your life, giving meaning to your struggles, and giving purpose to your every step. When you learn how to set goals and truly achieve them, you learn how to rise above your fears and rewrite your story with courage. Today, let's explore how powerful your life can become when you decide not just to dream, but to commit, to act, and to move forward with intention. Start with clarity, know what you truly want. Clarity is the foundation of every goal, because without knowing what you truly want, every step feels confusing and every challenge becomes heavier. Clarity does not come from noise. It comes from stillness, from sitting with your heart and asking it what it longs for deeply. When you seek clarity, you begin to filter out the expectations of the world. You stop chasing things that impress others and start pursuing things that fulfill you. This shift is powerful because it frees you from the pressure of performing and guides you toward the path that feels honest and meaningful. Clarity also demands courage. It requires you to face your fears, your insecurities, and even your hidden desires. Many dreams stay buried not because they are impossible, but because people fear acknowledging how much they want them. Clarity gives you permission to dream without shame. When you become clear about your goal, your energy becomes focused. You stop scattering your efforts in different directions. You begin to conserve your strength and pour it into something that truly matters to you. This focus becomes the anchor that keeps you grounded through the ups and downs. Your clarity becomes the voice that whispers to you on difficult days, reminding you why you started. It becomes the inner light that guides you when everything feels dark and uncertain. It becomes the force that keeps you moving even when the world doubts you. Seeking clarity is not a one-time act. It is something you return to again and again. As you grow, your dreams grow with you. As you evolve, your goals evolve too. Clarity is a journey of self-discovery, one that deepens every time you listen to your inner truth. And once you find that clarity, you realize that the dream was never distant. It was always within you, waiting for you to acknowledge it and give it the direction to bloom. Break big dreams into small steps. Big dreams often lose their magic because we try to climb the entire mountain in a single breath. The weight of the whole journey becomes too much, and we convince ourselves that maybe the dream is too big or maybe we are too small. But the truth is, no mountain is climbed in one step. It is climbed with thousands of small steps, each one as important as the next. Each one taking you closer to the summit you once feared to imagine. Breaking your dream into small steps releases you from the pressure of perfection. It gives you the freedom to take one step today, another tomorrow, and another when you gather more strength. These steps may look insignificant from the outside, but they are the silent builders of your courage from within. They teach you that consistency is far more powerful than intensity, and that slow progress still counts as progress. Small steps nurture your confidence. The moment you complete even the tiniest action, you start believing that you are capable of doing more. This belief becomes the seed from which self-trust grows, and self-trust becomes the foundation of every big victory. You begin to understand that the journey only feels impossible until you break it into pieces small enough for your heart to carry. Taking small steps also helps you stay committed when life gets overwhelming. On days when the dream feels too far, you don't have to accomplish everything. You only have to do one thing that brings you closer to your goal, even if it's just a thought, a plan, a single action. These simple steps become your anchor, reminding you that movement is more important than speed and direction is more important than distance. When you break your dream down, you make the path visible. You begin to see what needs your attention, what needs your energy, and what needs your patience. This clarity removes unnecessary distractions and keeps your focus aligned with your purpose. Even the darkest days become manageable because you know exactly what you need to do next, and that knowing becomes your strength. Small steps also transform your relationship with failure. When you stumble, it doesn't feel like the end because you know the journey is made of many steps, not just one. You can always take another step, always start again, always rebuild your momentum. This resilience becomes your superpower, teaching you that falling is just a pause, not a conclusion. And when you finally look back, you realize that these small steps were never small. They were the very bricks that built your transformation, the very movements that carried you toward the life you once felt was too far to touch. Your steps become your story, your proof, and your pride. Stay consistent even when motivation fades. Motivation may ignite the spark, but consistency keeps the fire alive. There will be days when your heart feels heavy, when your mind feels tired, and when your dream feels blurry. On those days, motivation may walk away silently, but consistency stays, waiting for you to show up, even slightly, even imperfectly, even slowly. Consistency is your commitment to yourself, a promise that you will keep moving even when inspiration hides. Consistency teaches you the truth about growth. It shows you that progress does not come from grand gestures but from repeated efforts. The small things you do every single day shape your future far more than the big things you do occasionally. You begin to realize that your habits, your routines, and your daily actions are the silent architects of your destiny, patiently building the life you dream of. There will be moments when you feel discouraged, when results seem invisible, and when your hard work appears unnoticed. But consistency reminds you that transformation is happening beneath the surface. Seeds do not sprout the moment you plant them. They grow quietly in the dark before breaking into the light. Your efforts are doing the same, even when you cannot see the results yet. Staying consistent also strengthens your discipline. It teaches you to act based on intention, not emotion. You learn to show up on days when you don't feel like it, and those days become the pillars that hold your dream together. Discipline becomes the bridge that carries you from where you are to where you want to be, especially when motivation takes a backseat. Consistency helps you build trust with yourself. Every time you show up, even in a small way, you prove to yourself that you are reliable, that you are committed, and that you are capable of following through. This trust becomes one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Because once you trust yourself, no challenge feels unconquerable anymore. When consistency becomes part of your identity, you stop chasing motivation. You begin to understand that showing up is more important than feeling ready. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You create progress with imperfect moments. You don't wait for inspiration. You carry yourself forward with dedication. And that shift changes everything. In the end, consistency reveals a powerful truth. Success is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about doing something repeatedly. It is the quiet force that turns wishes into habits and habits into achievements. It is the steady rhythm that turns ordinary days into extraordinary results. Celebrate progress, not just results. We live in a world that glorifies the finish line but forgets the beauty of the journey. Many people never recognize their own growth because they're always waiting for the final moment of victory. But the truth is, every step, every effort, and every small win deserves to be acknowledged. When you learn to celebrate progress, you stop pressuring yourself to achieve everything instantly and start appreciating the gradual process of becoming better. This shift relieves you from unnecessary burden and fills your path with hope. You start to see yourself not as someone chasing a dream, but as someone growing into it beautifully. Progress becomes meaningful when you allow yourself to reflect on your efforts. Looking back at your journey helps you see moments where you kept going despite doubt, where you rose despite fear, where you tried again despite failure. These moments deserve celebration because they reveal your strength, your spirit, and your evolution. Celebrating your progress also fuels your motivation. When you acknowledge even the smallest achievement, your heart feels encouraged. This encouragement becomes a spark that keeps you moving forward. It reminds you that your journey is not stagnant, that every effort is shaping your future, and that you are becoming stronger with each passing day. When you appreciate your progress, you stop comparing your journey with others. You begin to understand that everyone has their own path, their own pace, and their own battles. Your journey becomes sacred, personal, and precious when you value the steps you take. Comparison loses its power over you because your progress becomes your pride. In time, you realize that the journey itself is the true victory. The lessons, the growth, the resilience, and the transformation you experience along the way are far more meaningful than the destination alone. Progress becomes your celebration, your motivation, and your reminder that you are moving forward beautifully, one step at a time. Embrace failure as a teacher, not an end. Failure is something many people fear, yet it is one of the greatest teachers life offers. Every failure carries a lesson, a message, a moment of growth that success can never teach. When you embrace failure with an open heart, you begin to understand that falling is not the end, but an invitation to rise with greater wisdom and deeper strength. Failure reveals the gaps in your journey, not to discourage you, but to guide you. It shows you what needs to change, what needs more care, and what needs more courage. When you see failure as feedback instead of defeat, you transform setbacks into stepping stones. Each fall becomes a doorway that leads you to a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Embracing failure also teaches humility. It reminds you that you are human, that mistakes are natural, and that imperfection is part of growth. Instead of feeling ashamed, you learn to feel grateful for the resilience that rises within you every time you stand back up. Humility becomes your strength, allowing you to grow without fear of judgment. Failure strengthens your emotional endurance. It teaches you how to keep moving even with a wounded heart, how to stay hopeful even in uncertainty, and how to rebuild even when things fall apart. This endurance becomes a quiet but powerful force that shapes your character and deepens your courage. When you embrace failure, you stop seeing it as a sign that you are not enough. You begin to see it as a sign that you are trying, learning, and evolving. You understand that the people who succeed are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who never stop rising. Your strength lies not in avoiding failures, but in transforming them into lessons. Failure also teaches you patience. Goals take time, progress takes effort, and healing takes courage. The moments when things do not go as planned are often the moments when you learn the most about yourself. You discover your capacity to persevere and your ability to recreate your path with greater wisdom. In the end, embracing failure frees you. It allows you to walk boldly toward your dreams, knowing that every fall will teach you, every setback will guide you, and every mistake will shape you into someone stronger. You become unstoppable not because you never fall, but because you always rise, wiser and braver than before. In the end, every dream you hold in your heart is a reflection of the greatness you carry within you, and every goal you set is a doorway to a life waiting to be lived with purpose. The journey toward achieving your goals will not always be smooth, it will not always be easy, and it will not always unfold the way you imagine. But each moment of struggle, each moment of doubt, and each moment of effort will slowly shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and far more capable than you ever believed yourself to be. You are not just walking toward a dream, you are becoming the person who can fulfill it. And that transformation is the true victory hidden behind every step you take. As you move forward, remember that your goals are not distant destinations. They are your companions, your teachers, and your reminders of what you are capable of creating with your own hands and your own courage. Trust the journey, embrace the setbacks, celebrate the progress, and keep showing up even when the world feels heavy. Because one day, you will look back and realize that everything you thought would break you actually built you. Everything you thought would stop you actually strengthened you. And everything you thought you could never achieve became yours simply because you refused to stop trying. Your goals are not just possible, they are waiting for you to rise and claim them.